Chris was a self-made tech millionaire, living in a house protected by his own high-tech security system. But even with all that, he was still lonely. His marriage to Jamie had fallen apart, and though she had moved on and just wanted it over with, Chris couldn't bring himself to sign the divorce papers. Deep down, he was still hoping for a second chance.
All those years, I only thought I was alone.
Then came that night. Chris found himself wandering alone through a grocery store. That's when he saw her, a woman, soaked from the rain. She asked him for a wine recommendation. Chris wasn't exactly a wine expert, but he gave it a shot. They started talking, light, flirty, effortless. They laughed like they'd known each other for years. Her name was Sky.
She's very beautiful, isn't she?
I suppose she is.
As Chris exited, he saw her again. Her Uber had just canceled. He offered her a ride back to her motel. When they arrived, she was hesitant to get out. She admitted she'd had a fight with her roommate, Lisa, who was a handful. Picking up on her discomfort, Chris suggested they hang out at his place nearby, just to kill time. Watching from the shadows was Ronald, the motel's landlord.
So creepy, man.
At Chris's place, the conversation continued, deeper this time. They talked about life, regrets, and hopes. Sky was quick-witted and unpredictable, and that excited Chris. One thing led to another, and they ended up spending the night together. Chris felt the connection he had been longing for.
What do you think? Checkmate.
The next morning, Sky headed back to the motel, where Lisa was waiting, furious. Sky ignored her. Meanwhile, Chris couldn't stop thinking about Sky. He didn't have her number, so he showed up at her workplace. They picked up right where they'd left off. But the moment Chris mentioned his ex-wife, Sky went quiet. Her mood shifted.
There is something wrong. I just know there is.
Then, as they were walking back to Chris's car, a man suddenly tried to break into it. Then the man attacked them. The result? A clean break in his leg. Now he was stuck in a cast and on crutches. Sky didn't hesitate. She offered to take care of him while he healed. They had just met, but he trusted her enough to give her the security codes to his house.
How did you know you could trust the people you opened up to?
Before fully moving in, Sky went back to the motel one last time. There, she walked in on Lisa and Ronald having a tense conversation. As she packed her things, Lisa got emotional, pleading with Sky not to leave. In the heat of the moment, they even kissed. Yes, kissed, to calm Lisa down.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! I'm always right. Always.
Back at Chris's, Sky slipped easily into her role as caregiver. Chris, soaking up the attention, didn't even notice Jamie's calls. One night, under the influence of pain meds and vulnerability, he told Sky he loved her.
Moment of truth. Somebody's life's about to change.
At the motel, Ronald walked into the girl's room uninvited to collect late payments. What he found left him stunned: Lisa's lifeless body. In shock, he called the police and gave them Sky's name. But there was a problem. She didn't exist in any police records.
Why lie to my face? What are you hiding?
Meanwhile, Jamie heard about Chris's injury and offered to bring their daughter, Willow, over to cheer him up. Chris agreed, and even said he'd signed the divorce papers. But Jamie was surprised that he had let a stranger into his house.
Do you think he has a brain tumor? I think he fell in love.
Later that night, Sky crept into Willow's old room and softly sang a lullaby. But it wasn't comforting, it was off.
Yeah, I thought. She's not who she says she is.
The next morning, Chris couldn't find his phone. As he turned on the TV, the news blared with a report about Lisa's lifeless body. At that exact moment, Sky strolled in with breakfast. When Chris asked about his phone, she dodged the question. As Chris mentioned the news, she casually admitted to killing Lisa. At first, Chris thought she was joking, until she called Lisa nosy and annoying. That's when the fear really set in.
What are you gonna do now?
Then she dropped another bomb. She'd been stalking Chris for 2 months using a telescope. She had mapped out his daily routines and schedules. Their meeting at the grocery store had been staged. Chris was stunned, heartbroken, and furious. He tried to throw her out, but she tasered him. Then Sky used his own app to lock down the house.
There's nowhere to hide.
Meanwhile, Ronald, the motel landlord, snooped through the room and found the telescope Sky had been using. Out of curiosity, he pointed it at the surrounding homes. When he turned it toward Chris's place, he saw Sky inside.
It's just you are drop dead crazy gorgeous.
Chris eventually woke up tied to a wheelchair. Sky, now completely unhinged, began demanding his bank passwords. When he refused, she drilled into his cast to make him talk. Eventually, Chris gave in. She transferred millions, but she wanted more. And when he refused again, she threatened to harm Willow. Then the man who had broken Chris's leg showed up at the house, Sky's accomplice in their plan for a clean getaway.
And that woman is too something, too crazy, too clever, too tricky.
Chris was left alone when Ronald broke in, but instead of helping, Ronald demanded a reward. Just as he began to free Chris, Sky returned, alerted by her security app. A wild chase broke out through the house. Ronald was struck down with a samurai sword. Chris fled on a snow bike, desperate to escape. But fate had other plans. He hit a rock and was thrown into the road. A passing driver helped him up and offered a ride. For a moment, Chris thought he was finally safe, until they pulled back into his driveway. Sky was waiting. The driver, Sebastian, wasn't just anyone. He was her stepfather and an accomplice.
No one with a heart can do what you do.
Blood money is still money.
Later, Chris, bruised and emotionally shattered, told Sky she could have had it all, but she didn't believe him. She and Sebastian had a plan to steal millions in bonds. But before they could leave, Jamie and Willow showed up. Wrong place. Very wrong time. Sky captured them and locked everyone in a room. In desperation, Chris told Willow to crawl through a vent and escape. They talked about the bonds, but Jamie revealed she had already moved them to her own private box. Sky and Sebastian would be back soon.
Expect the unexpected.
Willow used the passcode to sneak back into the house. Chris and Sebastian got into a fight, but out of nowhere, Sky shot Sebastian, hoping it would win Chris back. But he wasn't fooled. Chris managed to get away and hide, and sent an SOS to the police. Sky searched the house and eventually jumped on her. Jamie jumped in to protect him and got hurt. And when it seemed like all hope was lost, bang, Sky collapsed. Behind her stood Willow. She had just saved both her parents.
My real name is Morgan.